Hello everyone, welcome to the War Zone. This is Scruffy and Scruffy Tales. Let's talk a bit about Pokrovsk. I'm busy on vacation, can't make videos, so that's why I've been making community posts and shit. There's a Discord, you can find it in the latest community post, the link to it if you want to join it. But anyway, let's talk about Pokrovsk, because that is what everyone's talking about. That is what I've been making community posts about. It's a mixed bag of things going on, essentially. I mean, if this is Pokrovsk down here, then we have Rodynske up here, and here is Dobropilya, and over here we have Shakove, right? This is essentially it. River from Shakove down to east of Pokrovsk and Mirnorad. At Razine, Russia got across and has threatened Rodynske, but haven't reached the town, operating outside of it. And then we of course have this report on this big push north towards the Syrsky line just outside of Dobropilya. So what is going on? If we take a look at the maps and compare it to the OSINT sources showing Ukrainian defensive lines, we know that right here outside of Rodynske is a fortified defensive line, and Rodynske and the railroad is also the fortification line. Russia pushed through Razine and has now, according to ISW, occupied this empty space here with very few Ukrainian defensive positions. We knew they pushed in, and now they apparently have taken other towns in this pocket where Ukraine has built very few defensive lines. Where did they go next? North, right? North. Here is another pocket with very few Ukrainian defensive lines. There's a line between Shakove and the defensive line north of Rodynske, a very thin line along a river and some hills. They broke through this line apparently and then had reached the open space here between Shakove and the heavily fortified Syrsky line. People now worried about Dobropilya. I think, since we have Russians just outside Shakove, that this push here, the intention is to isolate Shakove and secure the 5 bridges in the area across this river. So if they can push up here and come this way to take Shakove, they've now unlocked a massive logistical hub in this area that they can utilize to get across the river and make the push for Dobropilya, and in so doing, cutting the supply line coming towards Rodynske, that then continues down to Pokrovsk and Mirnorad. That is the main Russian operation here. Shakove is the objective, and in the long run, that will allow Russia to attack Dobropilya, and in so doing, isolating and cutting off supplies down to Pokrovsk, right? So the massive confusion here is the combination of commando units, assault units, and frontline troops. So what they're doing is infiltrating through these narrow or thin Ukrainian defensive lines with small units of commandos, probably hand-picked troops from each company, the best of the best, Russians that are natural born soldiers. They infiltrate with these guys. Some gather in assault troops. So you have pockets of 20 to 30 Russians behind Ukrainian lines that then help the main push that is coming in from the front line, as it were. So the assault unit behind enemy lines assist the main assault unit in taking isolated Ukrainian positions, and you have a minor breakthrough that you can move through and then push in and take villages. At the same time, smaller command units, 3 or 4 men strong, continue pushing through to attack Ukrainian logistics, drone squads spread out all over the area. So now you have reports of big clashes close to the front line and smaller attacks all over the place behind the front line. And this, of course, causes massive amounts of confusion to Ukrainian troops, to the people reporting on war, and for mappers who receive reports of big advances along the main line, and also of massive or huge amounts of assaults going on behind the front line, and also accurate artillery strikes and airstrikes and drone strikes, because the special forces behind the lines are calling in these accurate strikes on hidden Ukrainian positions. That is what's happening here, would be my guess. And I think that makes sense. So right now the Russians have reached this strong point here, the Syrsky line, and the question is if they can't push through it to harass a logistical line that comes in from the fortress belt to Dobropilya. We'll see how this plays out. Anyway, that's it. Hope I'll see you in the next one.